What is going on, everybody, and welcome to another Beta Memoirs. And today we are pushing back up. Yes, we sold off yesterday. Again, there was still more inflation concerns coming out last night. But one thing we did see first thing this morning is we actually saw Bitcoin have a monster move, break over that 52 mark, and just completely rip. As you can see, after hours. It is at 56K, going back to 60K, going back to new all-time highs, hopefully. So we will see. That is good news. It seems like if Bitcoin is essentially the new digital gold, it has definitely been driving the market. When the Bitcoin is moving up, typically it looks like the market is moving as well. It's always good to try to find those correlations within the different indexes, individual stocks, and other essentially things like Bitcoin, essentially assets, right? So that being said, Bitcoin is back on the map. The market looked very strong aside from the selling this morning. We've been playing the same pattern. Essentially, we've been hitting the top of the zone, and we wake up in the morning and then it's down again. We had seen that same thing this morning, the gap down, and then we did sell off pretty heavily. It looked like we wanted to run. It struggled again today, and then it sold off. We did have talks of the vote today. Biden did come on with a bunch of the head bankers and had a meeting earlier today. That's what kind of jetted us out of here towards the end of the day. Kind of just reiterating what was going on if the debt ceiling doesn't get passed. I've heard from Mitch McConnell, I believe, actually said it was going to get passed, but it was just essentially working out details, and then he's coming out with a bunch of other different things. But nonetheless, it sounds like it will be passed. I mean, I think there's still an 80% chance it will be passed. No matter what, the debt ceiling is 80% chance. If it defaults, it's going to be a major issue. So there's no way they're not going to do it. They're looking at other workarounds to doing it. So we should see by the end of the week. It is, again, Thursday tomorrow. I forget what day it is sometimes around here. But it is Thursday tomorrow. So Thursday, Friday, we probably won't hear anything until Friday, specifically on the vote. Might get some rumors, but the good thing to see, banks did try to sell, so that's why we did get some selling this morning. But everything just picked up and it started flipping and started running back. Tech found a lot of strength today. That is something that is good to see. So going into tomorrow, obviously Fang. This is why I call this channel Beta Memoirs, because I go after big blue chip stocks a vast majority of the time. So being said, tomorrow tech is looking really good. We're getting a lot of wedge breaks. Tesla wedge break after hours. Googl, really looking for this. This is a big one I want to watch tomorrow. If it does break above this 2757 tomorrow, I think Google is going to have a huge day. If we flip back to Tesla, Tesla will have a big day. Really, if Tesla doesn't gap up to 800, it needs to break that 800. It needs to break this essentially you're looking around essentially the 807 mark. It really needs to break that. If it does break that, it can really run from that point. But around that 805, it seems like every time it hits a new high, because we had this back here as soon as it hit 800, obviously it got rejected. It kind of came to retest a couple different times, then broke through it. It's building these resistance levels just a couple of dollars up. So every time it's making it harder to break through a lot of these resistances, which typically Tesla would just butter through them. But now that's on the S&P, it's been acting a little bit differently. There's definitely a lot more resistance when it comes to different key levels. So now that it's broken wedge, we're seeing a lot of this same pattern on Fang, which is great to see. So I actually see us, if not gapping up, it will definitely be a big day tomorrow in tech. If that we don't get any more random news, it really depends on the SPX. SPX has to, again, break and hold this level. If we can break and hold above 43.68, that would be great. We're running right into the daily support to the 43.94 though. It's going to be some resistance here. So being said, when we get up in here, we might actually start chopping again to be able to break through this. But if we break through this, it's definitely game on from that point. And then we start getting into earnings. That's what we're trying to get through. We're trying to get through this vote. Obviously, we found a bottom. It's just trying to get through this with the vote. So ultimately, I wouldn't be surprised if we do come back down here tomorrow and we just play this tight range. It would not surprise me at all. But again, there's a lot of things breaking. Apple, again, broke after hours and started running. Looks like it wants to come back, pull back, dip, and then run. So you got a lot of these I'll be looking at. Facebook looks like it's trying to break after hours. Microsoft, it broke. Looks like it broke its wedge too, essentially that last quarter of the day. Palantir had that news last night. It's funny, I recorded this, and then shortly after, it got that news about that Army contract and exploded. Looking for this as well tomorrow. Trying to look for some laggers. Mid caps will probably lag a little bit, so I'll probably try to pick some of those up. And shares, Square's one I definitely been trying to keep on watch and get into this as well. Hopefully we can break above. If we get above this 200, I definitely want to any kind of pullback. As long as we stay in this range, I want to get in it and then break some of these supports as we make our way back up. Roblox has been kind of iffy. It definitely had that massive sell-off last night. I don't know what news that this was obviously inflation, and then the second move I wasn't really sure. It just was kind of doing this thing on its own. Might have been because of China. Maybe that's why we sold off, but looks like it's gaining some ground back. Look to get back in this as well. Again, you still got a lot of resistance. You got your 200 daily, 50, 20. This is all the stuff we're going to have to try to break through again. So that's a key reminder. We did get hard. We rejected hard off of it, off the 200. So at least we got the first rejection. So it's just building our way back up. I think we'll be good on that. Snap is another one to watch. Broke back above the 50. As soon as it gets above this 20 here, what you're looking at, essentially that 75 mark. I'll be looking to get back in the Snap. UPST, massive break, retest. Looks like it's getting ready to make its way back up. Could be another key one to be watching tomorrow. Affirm had a monster day today. There was actually a major wedge on here. It broke and just ripped. So it looks like it has another flag. Look for continuation on this. So these ones that have these massive runs, look for second days on these. And then go from that point. This being one of them. Essentially, as long as it holds above this, you want a candle to essentially open above this 135.79. This is why I like to play the hourly a lot. If it does, that candle opens, if it's top of the hour and you get a new candle and it opens right here, it's definitely a bullish sign. And it's when I typically take position, tight stop, and then let it run from that point. Amazon, another one that broke today. Really, if it gets above this 200, which has been concerning because it held it down for a while, but if it does break this tomorrow, again, another one I want to get into and hold. A shop I actually got in a contract on this one is gapping up overnight. I did get in on this one for essentially cover earnings on this one, so I do have a call that covers earnings for that one. SC is another one that's been kind of lagging to keep an eye on tomorrow. If it is lagging where the rest of the market starts running, SC will definitely be another one that could start possibly running. I know Macy's came out today and said they were talking about e-commerce as well. So shop kind of got a little delayed on that. Net had a huge day. I had that upgrade yesterday, a massive rip, pullback, and second massive rip. This is why it's good to stay with momentum. You find some that have momentum to look for that second day, because that second day is typically a bigger move. And so being said, you got something like Etsy tomorrow. It's been trying to make this move. So Etsy is definitely on high watch tomorrow. Looking for a bigger move, especially if you can break above this essentially 212 mark. If it does break above that, if the market starts ripping tomorrow, that could be another big mover. The thing about Etsy is, though, like if the rest of the market like runs, like Etsy is kind of one of those ones that are left on the back burner. Like once everything cools off, Etsy will start picking up some steam. TTD, we're looking for this one. This one to possibly break tomorrow and start running too. It's another great one for ads as well. To pick this one up, I do like this one. Trading Desk. It's one I want to keep on watch tomorrow. A lot of the chips had massive days. Look for another day if we do break above the 209 on NVIDIA. That's a massive level right there. You can start pushing, although you do have some resistance. You got the 20 on the daily. Once it breaks that, though, it's definitely game on from that point. Airbnb is one I've been keeping an eye on. Watch. I did miss the dip on this one, but it's at a good level as long as it holds this 167 mark. So essentially 168. I look for a retest on this for entry, and then I'll look for a pop and possibly start running up. It's finally starting to get some steam, but we'll have to see how that one plays out. Let me see here. BYND is one I've always liked. It's floating around that 100. I didn't pick it up yet the other day or today, but the 100 mark is a pretty solid mark for Beyond Meat. I know it had some negative news lately, so it's been kind of selling with everything, but I definitely see this one. If we can start consolidating a lot around this 100 mark, and it won't go below it, I definitely want to pick up a position in this because that's typically what happens, the consolidation, and then you get PR. The PR team comes out, and then it gets these massive 30, 40 point rips out of it. So CMG is one I want to keep on watch. I did miss this one as well. If it does happen to float around here, it's got earnings around the corner. It destroyed earnings last time. So being said, I want to try to get some kind of earnings call in this moving forward as well. So this is one I want to keep on watch and try to get something that covers earnings. But I do really like this. I like where this is sitting at. Looking for that essentially 1900 for November. It's actually in 2 weeks, I believe, is their earnings. So just something to cover the end of the month would be enough. Essentially, try to go for an extra week after earnings. Typically plays out better. And then DigitalOcean is one I've been watching. It did break there. Looking for a retest tomorrow, possibly down to this 81.35 mark. If we can get a retest here, that'd be fantastic. And then look for essentially the price target of around 88. Around 88, I think, would be a good price target for that one. So that's another good one to keep on watch. This one's really been kind of ripping up for multiple days now. It's been on an absolute tear. No, DigitalOcean has just done a lot of great things. But that is essentially what I got. This video is kind of long. Again, tomorrow could be huge. Again, also be mindful. We could pull back. Things are breaking. We could gap up. Expect a pullback tomorrow. Volatility is not gone yet. We still got a bunch of contracts expiring, and we got the vote at the end of the week. If for some reason something happens at the end of the week, I could see some massive selling, possibly back down into the zone, or maybe we establish a new zone. Going into next week's a short week, so volume will probably be low. And also remember, again, got a lot of options expiring, and also government runs out of funds come 18th. So all that stuff has to be taken care of within these next couple of days, and why the volatility has been so crazy lately. So again, I don't think it has anything to do with tapering. People are already well aware of what's going on with tapering. That's not the concern right now. The biggest concern is debt ceiling, in my opinion. And once that gets dissolved, whatever the case is, then we'll start looking at tapering. Again, we don't have an FOMC meeting at the end of this month. It's not till the end of next month. So we got a whole 2 months. Once we get cleared out of this, we start getting into the earnings mode, and then we're going to really start running. So that's something to keep in mind. So if you've made it this far, remember to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Till next time, I'll see you guys later.